So throughout this election, we've been taking a scroll through the polls, both through the primary and the general election. And I think it's a good time to do it again because there seems to be a slight shift, but I think the most important piece remains the same. So what appears to be the case, and I kind of go back and forth on this, is it really seems to be the case that the Biden lead nationally has shifted down a couple of points, maybe 2 to 3 points. I say that, but then all of the major pollsters have Biden up 9 points. Now, I think the most interesting one is the USC Dornsife, which is like what appears to be a California pollster, so you would imagine it leans Democrat, leans left. But it only has Biden up 7 in its recent poll. And I think they might even have him plus 7 in their previous poll as well. So it seems to be a little bit down. But as you see, the NPR PBS Marist poll has Biden up 9. Economist YouGov has Biden up 9. Reuters Ipsos has Biden plus 9. The major ones seem to sort of have it. Now, Hill Harris has Biden up 6. So some of these have him up 7, up 6, up 5, around there. It seems more, previously I would say his average, like among the real pollsters, obviously you see a Rasmussen poll that has Trump up 1. That's the first poll that has Trump up in national polls in this RCP accepted polls since back in February. So this poll is garbage, obviously. And so anytime you see all of the polls saying one thing, and then you have one that's saying another, what do we call that? We call it an outlier. And obviously it's a right-wing garbage pollster. They just make up their own numbers. So what we have going on here is, I would say the national numbers have probably gone down maybe 2 points, is what I would say. From like what I would call a 9 to a 7, is what I would say. And their RCP average here has it 6.2, which, even kind of makes my numbers a little bit, maybe he's still up 9. It's hard to tell. But that 6.2 is totally ruined by that plus 1 from Rasmussen that skews the numbers. So the interesting thing is, despite there being a possibility that the national lead may be down a couple points, statewide, his numbers are not only seeming to hold strong, they're seeming to actually go up for Biden, which is really interesting. So some of these North Carolina polls have Biden actually up 1. So this USC Dornsife poll has Biden up 7 in the national GE. This YouGov one has Biden plus 6 in the national GE. This Michigan poll, that's a Democratic pollster, so we're actually not going to look at that. This GSG poll has Biden up 11. Data Progress has Biden up 11. National GE, they kind of lean left as well. The Siena Research Upshot poll, this is also interesting because the way Maine works is they split their electoral votes. So Hillary Clinton, as garbage as she wasn't able to clear all of Maine. So the Maine electoral votes got split. Now this could come in handy in case it's a really close race. Those couple of delegates, I think it's 2 delegates, can be really crucial. So if Biden locks up all of Maine, that might be crucial if he loses other areas. There are multiple scenarios in which they actually come down to the wire. A couple of even tie scenarios, even though I call them unlikely, there are a couple of tie scenarios, and so those 2 delegates can come in really handy. So he's up 2 in this poll in Maine's second, which would be the other 2 delegates. So he might be able to actually lock that up. That same Siena Research Upshot New York Times poll has North Carolina Biden up 1. I think I also saw another poll having Biden up 1 in North Carolina, or maybe he was down 1 in North Carolina. They have Arizona plus 9 for Joe Biden, which is huge. A plus 9 for Joe Biden is pretty massive. Remember, Joe Arpaio barely lost in Maricopa County as well. I don't know if that really counts for anything, but that's a huge lead, and I'm not even confident enough to pick Arizona to go blue, but some of these polls really have me thinking that it's actually going to go Biden. A Redfield Wilton poll has Florida up 3 for Joe Biden and North Carolina up 2 for North Carolina. They have Michigan plus 10 for Biden, Wisconsin plus 6, Arizona plus 5, Pennsylvania plus 5. I think the plus 9 for Arizona is probably a bit of an outlier, to be honest, if this one has a plus 5. having Biden up +9 in Arizona seems like a bit of a stretch, is what I think personally. I also think that +10 in Michigan is a little bit sketch, is what I would say. Some Democrats doing well in the Senate. I think they're projected to get 50 seats, which would be a majority if the president wins, because vice president comes in to break ties. Laughably, Rasmussen is the only pollster to have Trump's approval rating as an actual approval rating and not a disapproval rating, which is really hilarious to me. Let's see here. See, actually, what's interesting that I'm noticing is it seems like RCP has written some of these down actually wrong. Like this Economist YouGov poll, that Marist NPR poll, it looks like that says +7, but I think that includes Hawkins. So this is another really important thing that I need to explain to you guys here. Here's one. This is an Epic MRA poll. I don't know what pollster that is, but it has Biden +8 on Trump. A flashback to the exact same time in 2016, Clinton was only leading by 4 points in that poll. And in the one that includes the third-party voters, Johnson at 10%, Stein at 4%. Clinton is only +3. With a head-to-head, she was up 4. So this is also a really important point that not enough people are talking about. And that is that the polls indicate that Joe Biden is leading with third-party voters 2-1. And the Green Party getting kicked off the ballot in a lot of these states is really crucial to Joe Biden's campaign, because those are big pools of votes, and those can easily push this election in his favor. And also, I think that whoever the third-party Libertarian candidate is, I think it's Jorgensen. I don't think they're polling as good as Johnson was. I feel like Johnson polled pretty well, and he did pretty well. I don't think they're doing that well this time around either, and certainly the Green Party's doing way worse because they picked a horrible candidate, Howie Hawkins. But that is a huge thing. Like in that a pool of like those 3 states, those Rust Belt states, it's like 500,000+ third-party voters, and the loss margin was, I think, less than 100,000 votes. So if you're winning 2-1 with those third-party voters in 2016, what do you think is going to happen? And that's why it seems like it's pretty difficult for Biden to lose at this point. So pretty much all of these statewide polls that we see, Wisconsin +9 from Morning Consult. I think a lot of people just want to see the end to all of the, violence that's going on and all of the tensions that are going on, because there's quite a lot of it. So Arizona +4 in a Monmouth poll. Again, man, seeming to do really well in Arizona, interestingly enough. We know that Mark Kelly is also winning his Senate race according to the poll numbers. Again, that's all we can really go off. Suffolk USA Today poll has Biden +3 in North Carolina. He has an even higher lead head-to-head in Arizona. Likely because those third-party voters are probably right-wing, so they're probably ones sicking votes from Donald Trump. Another Cook political poll that has Biden up 5 in Arizona, +2 in North Carolina, +1 in Florida. I also have him clinching Florida, just barely. He'll probably win by 1 point, I would imagine. So basically, that's the saying. You can look through the rest of the polls. We'll do this again once there's more. There's another Wisconsin +9 from Morning Consult. They've been they have a tracker poll on that. Quinnipiac has Trump +20 in Kentucky, but obviously that doesn't matter. It's a solid red state. So the point being here is it seems to be the case that the numbers are around +7, +9 when it comes to these poll numbers. But the thing is, the statewide numbers not only seem to be holding, they seem to actually be increasing, dude. So his numbers actually look better to me than they ever have, because we don't vote nationally. So the national has gone down, what it looks like, by 2 points, but his statewide numbers seem to have increased. And again, I'm telling you, that third-party statistic makes it almost impossible for Joe Biden to lose, considering the current circumstances. We're like less than 6 weeks out. We're at this point like 5 weeks out from the election, which is crazy to think about. But I have a hard time seeing a situation when he loses. As you saw from that Epic MRA poll, which I think is a local Michigan pollster now that I think of it, his lead is double what Clinton's lead was in 2016. So the idea that he's going to pull it off is hilarious. Trump is going to pull it off is hilarious. And even if you're in the MOE, which he's not, it would mean you'd have to clear the entire, MOE, which would be hilarious, and then take the lead. So honestly, I'm not making a call here as to like, oh, it's impossible for Joe Biden to win. All I can do right now is show you the current numbers and what I see going on and tell you, hey man, it does not look like Biden, Trump has any path to victory here. And if you say there is one, I'd love to hear it. Let me know in the comments. What do you think Trump's path to victory is? Some people saying that he'll cheat. I guess that would be the only way, is for him to literally cheat. But yeah, at this point, that's all I see happening. So maybe there's something crazy that will turn the waves. But I'll tell you this, man. The clock is ticking.